let's get this party started. All right, turning on the computers, getting us going. The first things first, we got to wish Earl a happy birthday. Today is his birthday. It's a special day for him. It's a special workout just for you, Earl, just for your birthday. I don't know if it's anybody else's birthday, but if it is, happy birthday to you also. So Earl has been riding for a long time, and he's going to keep on riding because he is still able, willing, motivated, and keep those legs moving. So tonight, I call this workout Getting Ready, just so that we can start getting ready for what's to come outside. You know the drill. You got your fan, your towel, your full water bottle. Put yourself in a nice, comfortable gear, mostly in your small ring near the top of the cassette, so that you can just get your legs warmed up. And then we'll get them warmed up even more. Randy and I went out on Saturday, rode some gravel. It was so nice to be outside. The day was perfect enough that, you know, just a little vest, maybe a long sleeve jersey. Didn't feel super cold at any point, but we were pretty dirty by the end because the gravel portions were wet, some puddles somewhere. We didn't really find any snow except for within the last mile where we go up a trail that kind of meanders through the woods for about a mile, and there was snow on it almost the entire time. So we could ride through some parts of it, but the last probably quarter we had to walk because it just wasn't possible to stay in the snow and spin out. Wish I had a fat bike at that point, because that's what you need for that kind of snow. Saw a lot of people out. Big group of like 20 on the road, a couple of other people graveling. We were out in Bedminster, so it was a really nice way to get a little piece of getting back outside again. And then we weren't able to get out on Sunday because I think the weather turned a little raw. So there are opportunities coming our way. Keep the faith that we will be getting back outside. I did see some 70 degrees potentially on the weather forecast for next week. Hopefully that's true. But you know how March is. Crazy month. All right. So what is this getting ready going to do? We're going to do some efforts where we're going to go high cadence, low cadence, which really starts to work on both ends of your energy systems, as some coaches call it. So you're going to see a lot of gear shifting. The longest effort you're going to do is about 5 minutes long. So we're going to keep it to a manageable pace in terms of time, but we're going to keep you guessing so that the body has to keep guessing. That's when we get improvements, when we keep throwing things that are different at our muscles. I think sometimes what happens is when you don't do these kinds of things, and let's use, for example, you're in a hard gear and you come up to a climb and you start to change into a easier gear, and you go from what might be a very low cadence to then spinning your legs. That transition sometimes causes the muscles to cramp or fatigue in a way because of that quick change from one to the other. So that's what this tonight is really helping you to learn how to do. So we're going to start this off with a similar thing to what we did last week. We're going to do 30 seconds of standing, 30 seconds of seated. What I want you to be in terms of gearing is your big ring 15. So kind of right in the middle of your cassette. So you can go ahead and get there. Want to give you at least some resistance under your feet. You should be in your hoods. And we're going to stand up for 30. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stand up. Notice yourself warming up with each 30-second effort as you stand. You have to work a little bit harder cardiovascularly when you're standing up. But it's a good way to really get our bodies warmed up. Go ahead and sit back down. Give me 2 easier gears. 2 easier gears. Keep the legs moving at a cadence that you can manage. This is when you might start to feel a little bit of that burn, which is what we want. 2 harder gears. Standing up. Straight up. Nice and light with your hands in the hoods. Looking forward. Keeping your hips over your ankles. Feeling that little piece of your saddle between your legs. Sitting down. 2 easier gears. Reach for whatever cadence is high enough that it challenges you a bit. Remember, this is a warm-up. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. 2 harder gears. Stand it up. You might feel your cadence while you're standing start to get a little bit higher as you warm up. Sitting down. 2 easier gears. Again, reach for that high cadence. Force the legs to work a little here. A little preview into what's to come. 2 harder gears. Standing up. Only 2 more standing efforts. Feel those legs staying strong. Sitting back down. 2 easier gears. Sweat might start. That's what we want. Why it's called warming up. Getting the lungs working, the heart pumping. 2 harder gears, standing up last time. Think about your feet being light. Make your turnover nice and consistent. Sitting down. 2 easy gears, 2 easier gears. Last 30 seconds. Three, two, small ring. Easiest gear you got. Take a drink. All right. So our first set is going to be 4 by 4 minutes with a catch. So it's really 4.5 minutes. So the way it's going to go, you're going to do a minute at a high cadence, a minute at a low cadence, a minute at a high cadence, minute at a low cadence, and then you're going to give me a 30-second, as hard as you can, sprint type effort, either out of the saddle or in the saddle, maybe halfway in, halfway out, and then you're going to get a minute in between each of those. So we're going to mix up the high cadence to low cadence. The first one, you'll start with a high cadence. The second set of 4 minutes, 4.5 really, you'll do a low cadence to start. So we're going to keep it guessing. I'm going to give you the gearing. The gearing for the high cadence will be the same, and the gearing for the low cadence will also be the same. So when we start, you're going to be in your small ring around your 21. So that's not a super hard gear. If you have a 25 at the top, 23, 21, that's only 2 gears down. You should easily be able to hold a 90 to 100. Then when we get to the harder gear, we're just going to shift to our big ring and 1 gear harder. But we're going to stay around 60 or 70 cadence. So here we go. Find your gear. 21, small ring. 3, 2, 1. Let's go between 90 and 100. No higher than 100. If you're hitting 100 right off the bat, that's great. Just stay there. See how controlled you can keep your cadence. I like to kind of look at my cadence and see if I can keep it at that consistent number throughout the entire effort, which means that you're keeping your feet light, you're pedaling evenly, you're consistently working that pedal stroke so you can hold that cadence right where it needs to be. When I count it down, you're going to go big ring, shift to big ring, and 1 gear harder, maybe 2, for you to get to 60 to 70. Go ahead, 1 gear harder, 1 gear down. If you're getting to 75, give yourself an even harder gear. Maybe even 2, depending on what kind of small ring you have. Don't go any higher than 70. Feel this all the way through the pedal stroke. Keep the legs consistent. One minute here. 15 to go. And we're going to go back to small ring and that 90 to 100 around your 21. Find your small ring. Back to that gearing. Increase that cadence. Dial it in. You should be able to dial it in with the first couple of pedal strokes. If you have power, pay attention to where you're going. If you don't, then just focus on cadence. Or even if you have speed, you can use that as a metric. Don't let the legs drop from the cadence. Keep that leg speed high. Shifting 1 or 2 gears up to your big ring. 60 to 70. You want to reach for the higher end? That's okay. Keep it strong, because the hard part's going to come out of this one. After this next 30 seconds, you're going to give me a 30-second all-out effort. I'm going to count you down every 10 seconds. You can stay in this gear, or you can go easier or harder. I'll leave that up to you. Find the gear you think you want. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 30 seconds. Stay strong. 10 down. 20 down. 5, 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Easy gear. 1 minute easy. Woo! Now you know how that's going to go. That one's a tough transition. From a hard gear into a 30-second sprint. This next one, we're going to reverse it. So you're going to start with, instead of a high cadence effort, that first minute will be low. Low, high, low. Low, high, low, high, low. And then when you come off this next one, what's going to happen is your leg speed's going to be there. So that 30-second sprint is going to be a little easier to manage. All right, so find the gear that you were in, big ring, around your 19, looking for that 60 to 70. 3, 2, 1, let's go. You might need to shift around to find the right gear. If you're hitting 80, you're definitely in the wrong gear. So we're going to go big ring, small ring, then 30-second sprint. Feel yourself finding that perfect lightness in your feet. I know I concentrate on that all the time, but it is so important to use the entire pedal stroke. Get ready for the shift. It's going to be small ring, somewhere around your 21. Go ahead and make it. Small ring. Get those legs spinning. 90 to 100. Now, I always find this transition harder from low cadence to high cadence. The legs are kind of like, wait, what? Wait a minute, what? Cadence high. It feels good though. So let the legs spin after that hard effort. All right, get ready. Big ring. Maybe 2 harder gears. Let's go. Back to 60 to 70. You might be feeling that you can jump right back into where you were. Some people love these low cadence workouts. Everybody has different muscle structures. That's why when bike racers, we have climbers, sprinters, time trialists, all-arounders. All right, find your small ring. Back to that high cadence. 90 to 100. Spin it out. And then you're going to get ready for that 30-second sprint. This time, you're just going to stay in your small ring. Pick whatever gear you want for that last 30 seconds. Push the pace. If you feel like you want to stand up, you may. It might be hard, though, in this small ring scenario. Might want to save that for the next one. All right, get ready. Find the gear you think you want to sprint in. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Bring up the pace. I'll give you 10-second blocks. 10 down. 20 down. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Woo! Take a drink. Nice. This is a sweater. All right, after this cool down, we're going to go back to starting in the big ring, low cadence. No, I'm sorry. We're going to go back to small ring, high cadence. So you now have the pattern. Only 2 more of these 4.5-minute sets to go. And then we're going to move into some other ones that'll be a little shorter. But you're going to keep it in a gear the entire time. No shifting around. All right, so let's start. Small ring, round of 21. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 90 to 100. Now you might start finding, I always say number 3 in a set out of 4 is where the body really starts to adjust. You might find this first one in the same gear that you started with, you might be hitting a higher cadence. That just means the body is getting warmed up and you're getting better and more efficient at that particular cadence. kind of fun to see that happening. How in just not even 30 minutes of work, you can get adjustments happening. That's why racers warm up before a race. All right, big ring, back to 60 to 70. Hit the gear. Remember, try to keep it right at that top end. You might need a little time to dial it back in. Look down at your knees. Make sure they're tracking. Nobody's pointing their legs out. If your cleats are positioned properly, your legs should do what they naturally do. That's where sometimes hips, knees, even ankles can start hurting. Small ring, higher cadence. Right back up to 90 to 100. You might feel yourself feeling your heart rate at the high cadence efforts and feeling your legs strain during the low cadence efforts. But that's actually what's happening. Your heart will go forever. Your legs may fail on you if they're too fatigued. Big ring. Find that gear. Right back to that 60 to 70. After this minute, you're going to do a 30-second sprint. This time, let's do 15 in the saddle, 15 out of the saddle. You can be in your hoods or in your drops or the out of the saddle portion. And if you want to shift from where you are, you may do that. All right, get ready. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 15 seconds in. Last 15 in the out of the saddle, Mark. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. If you want to go harder gear, you may do that. 3, 2, 1. That didn't get your heart rate going. You weren't working hard enough. Woo. That's 3 down. Almost lost my fan twice. Doesn't want to sit there. All right. Take a drink. Where are you in your water consumption? You should be at least halfway, if not more. All right, so the last one. We're starting low, moving to high, low, high. Then our last 30-second sprint. So you can go ahead, find your big ring, Get in that gear. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 60 to 70. You should be really good at it by this point. The body knows what you need. Now, if you start feeling your legs kind of getting a little pitch in them, take your core and your back and allow yourself to extend taller. When we start to slouch and get tired, it doesn't allow our core to get engaged as we pedal. 3, 2, small ring, up to that high cadence. 90 to 100. Spin it out. Feels so good. Let the legs be light. Just like we do sometimes at the end. Find that lightness in this high cadence work. Because remember what that does, that saves the legs. So you can have them for something else along the way. Maybe you're doing a really hilly course. You know you're going to be climbing for a couple of miles. Save those legs. It's all about efficiency when you're on a bike. All right, big ring. Low cadence. 60 to 70. Again, feel yourself relaxing those shoulders, bending those elbows. Allowing the legs to feel free, work underneath you. Keep your hands relaxed. Nobody's doing the death grip. All right, coming up on our last high cadence. Find your small ring. Find that gear. Keeping yourself in that 90 to 100. Let's go. Last one in this set. And you get a little break. And we'll move into the next set, which is going to see similar, but just a little different. So our sprint here, you can shift to a little harder gear, stay in your small ring. We're going to do 15 seconds standing and then 15 seconds seated. So you might want to give yourself a little harder gear. Here we go. And up. Try to give yourself a high cadence. Even if you're at the bottom of your cassette. Sit down. Try to stay in that gear. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Easy gear. Take a drink. 4 solid efforts. Under your belt. All right. So what are we going to go into now? The next effort, as I said, is going to look similar, but slightly different. We're going to do two 2-minute efforts back to back with your cadence high in your small ring, followed by a 15-second max effort. Then here's the key. I was giving you a minute rest in between those last ones. This time you're only going to get 30 seconds rest. So less rest, high cadence, a shorter sprint, and a shorter effort. So all those things together should make for a little different of an effort. Then we're going to move into two 2-minute efforts in your big ring at a low cadence with 15-second sprint and only 30 seconds rest. All right, give you a couple more minutes here. Take another drink if you need it. First two efforts are 2 minutes, small ring 21, 90 to 100, followed by a 15-second all-out max effort with a 30-second rest in between. All right, find your gear. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. 2 minutes now. I know you can hold this high cadence for 2 minutes. The gearing doesn't have to be super hard. I just want you to hold that 90 to 100. Really concentrate on sticking to that cadence that you've established for yourself from the start. If you're picking 90, and stick there. I'm picking 100. Because 90 is my sweet spot. So I want to push that cadence just a little bit. And I'm not in a super hard gear. A gear that I can manage this 100 without putting a lot of effort into it. I want to save that for that 15-second sprint. "45 seconds to go." Keep those legs light. Now is when we start to really get tired, start to slack off. Think about all those things: feet, legs, shoulders, elbows, core. Never thought cycling was so complicated. All right, in 10, you're going to give me a 15-second all out, either in the saddle or out. Pick a gear. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 15 seconds. Push it hard. 3, 2, 1. All right, easy gear. 30 seconds easy. Take a drink. We're going to do that again. All right, remember, 2 minutes. Small ring around 21. Find that gear. Right there. 90 to 100. Dialing it right back in. Convince yourself you got this. No negative talk. All of the classic bike races are starting. And oh my God, these early season races, especially in the men's races, there's been so much crashing. And that happens. So it even happens like when we go back out, your bike handling skills might not be where they were because you've taken some time off from being outside. So know that about yourself. Make sure you always have your head on a swivel, especially for cars coming from side roads. And if you don't have one, get yourself a front light and a rear light. And if you don't have a monitoring system for cars behind you, it's worth the investment. So you know who's coming up behind you. And it'll show you that if you're using a computer device. One of the coolest technologies I think they've come up with. All right, 15 till we sprint. Again, keep it in small ring. This time, stay seated. Take the gear you think you want. Go ahead and go to that gear. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Fast and hard. Trying to beat your friend down the street. 3, 2, 1. All right, you're going to get 1 minute between this set and the next set, which will be 2 minutes in your big ring. Take a drink. Towel off. Turn your fan up. All right, so just like the last ones, 2 by 2 minutes in your big ring. You don't have to go there yet. Big ring around the 19, 60 to 70 cadence. And then we're going to do again a 15-second sprint. First one's going to be in the saddle. Second one will be out of the saddle. Really going for it. All right, so find your big ring. Whatever gear you hit that good solid cadence last time, 60 to 70, let's go. Dial it right back to where you were on the previous effort. If you need to shift just to find that place, that's okay. Get tall in your torso. Feel yourself almost turning your hips under yourself. If you sit up like this, keep yourself tall, and then get back into your bars. That'll put you in the right, perfect spot. Get your core engaged. Remember, our rest in between these two, a little shorter than before. That's what makes them a little more difficult. So this weekend is, many of you know the classic races, Strade Bianche, which is in the white roads of Tuscany. And that has to be the most beautiful scenery. If you can catch it, I think it's actually on either Peacock or HBO Max. All right, get ready. In the saddle, 15-second sprint in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hang on to it. 5, 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. You're only getting 30 seconds. Take a drink if you want it. One more hard effort. And then we'll do a short work. And then cooling down. I knew this one would go fast. They always do. All right, find that gear. 60 to 70. 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Make this one the best one. Last one's the best one. And you know that this is when it counts. Right here at the end. And the body's been working hard. Keep yourself in the game. At any point you haven't drank enough and you need a drink during this, don't be afraid to take it. Kind of like that on the bike when you're outside. Gotta stay up on your hydration. One minute down. 1 to go. And then a short 15-second sprint. This time is going to be out of the saddle. Either in your hoods or your drops, you decide. Come on, keep working hard. This will make you stronger. Concentrate on that data. Focus on keeping that number right where you want it. All right, we got 10. Till the sprint. 3, 2, 1. Out of the saddle. Let's go. Come on. 5 down. 10 down. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Easy gear. Get a rest. Have we done one of these or 2 of these? How many, Earl? Just checking. Making sure your brain's still working. Because you are the birthday boy. All right. Good work, everybody. Take a drink. Spin it easy. And then we're going to do a couple of cadence efforts just to wake up the legs, cool them down a little bit, and then move in to the recovery. So we changed our clocks this weekend. Don't forget, my favorite day of the year. Then there's more light to play. And we will be playing. I have to admit, I was very productive over the winter. In the last month or so, I've taken every one of my bikes and I have cleaned them to the T. And I've even taken 2 of my bikes, which have older components on it, and replaced some of the pulley wheels and some of the things that over time can wear out. So I can't wait to get out on these bikes because they're going to ride so fast when they're clean. fast bike is a clean bike is a fast bike. All right, I want you to shift down 3 gears. And I want you to lighten up your feet. Give me a high cadence, as high as you can without making any effort. Keep it in the small ring. Allow those legs to spin freely. We just want to get them to start to cool down. As we shift up these gears, you're going to feel yourself not having to work, which is what we want, so you can cool down. This is also good practice to learn how to keep your legs light. I kind of find myself like feeling my feet being super light. That helps the legs to get light. One easier gear, shifting up. Again, keep them light. My cadence is around 95. You might feel the same thing. Start to feel your heart rate coming down. Your body start to not produce as much sweat. Allows you to recover because you did the hard efforts last. So those muscles had to work hard. We'll make a few more shifts. Go ahead and shift one easier gear. Now you can really start to feel your legs lighten up. You might feel this, surprisingly, a little in your hamstrings from those sprinting efforts. The glutes and the hamstrings engage a lot when you do an effort where you're giving it all you got for a certain period of time or distance. But that's good to develop those hamstrings at the same time. All right, 10 more seconds. We're going to do another shift. You might be at the top of your cassette. That's okay. If you're already at the top of the cassette, just stay where you are. Now get really light. Maybe turn down the cadence a little bit. I always like when you have a resistance trainer, fluid trainer, you can hear the wheel change its sound when your legs spin. If you can hear the same thing on a smart trainer, start to recognize those sounds so that you know that when you're cooling down, you want to hear it. The whirl start to lighten. So we're gonna do a few more sessions in March. We'll see how the weather goes. If for some reason we get like snow in the last week of March, then we'll keep the session on schedule. But we do, at some point, everybody should start getting back outside again. That's our goal, obviously, for keeping ourselves fit. All right, we're gonna go 30 more seconds, and then we'll call it a night. Dead on to 8 o'clock. Good solid hour, since most of you guys get on even before I chime in. So hopefully you're getting an hour in, which is great. And as always, I really appreciate you participating in these sessions during the winter. I know sometimes it's hard to get going at this hour of the night, but I have to admit, I'm always energized after it. So, great job, everybody.